Good evening, everyone. Hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for participating in another session of our seminars, which are focused mainly on art industry and where we're helping you to dive into different sectors of art industry. Today's seminar is going to be hosted by our partner organization, GJW, and this time by Filip Kaplita from GJW. It's going to be a very exciting seminar. I want to firstly welcome Philip. Thank you so much for being with us today. And I am very excited to actually see the new face by GJW, to get to know you, and of course, that you will share very valuable knowledge with our participants. We just discussed with Philip a little bit the consultancy sessions. So please stay tuned. We're going to inform you probably next week about all the details. I want to just give you a short reminder about the questionnaire. So please don't forget to share with us the questionnaire. Tomorrow is the deadline. We were sending today email regarding that. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to our team. And right now, I just would love to give my words to Philip. Welcome, Philip, and feel free to start your session.
Great. Thank you, Victoria. Okay, so good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining today's webinar, which is entitled Art on the Internet, What Every Artist Needs to Know. As Victoria mentioned, my name is Filip Kaplita, and I'm a lawyer specializing in copyright law, intellectual property protection, and also in tax law. So if you have any questions regarding tax issues regarding your artistic work, so feel free to ask, of course. Okay, so here are some guidelines of today's webinar. Okay, next slide. Okay, so remember, as an artist, your work is really valuable. So not just creatively, but legally and financially. So the goal of today's session is to provide you with practical legal knowledge. Whether you're a painter, illustrator, or maybe digital creator, this webinar, this is my aim, that will help you avoid common legal pitfalls, and hopefully you'll have a clear understanding of how to protect your rights, negotiate better contracts, and take action if your work is misused. The law may seem complicated, of course, but a basic understanding of it may be essential to avoid issues such as the, for example, unfair use of your work or unfavorable contracts. So, and also please note that this presentation, this session, is intended for general informational purposes, and of course that not constitute legal advice. So if you have any specific legal issues or questions regarding your specific situation, your artwork, please consult a qualified attorney. Okay, so here we have the seminar content. As an introduction, so let's start with a broad overview of how the internet has impacted art as a whole. Over the last 3 decades, I think, internet usage has skyrocketed, so shifting from a niche communication platform to a fundamental tool used worldwide. And of course, this has profoundly influenced the way we create, we distribute, and we experience art. Before the digital era, most artists relied heavily on local or regional galleries, museums, and print media to showcase their work. And today, artists can instantly connect with a global audience, thanks to the internet, of course, through social media platforms, online galleries, and personal websites. One's art can be viewed from virtually anywhere in the world. This expansive reach has brought previously marginalized perspectives into focus, enabling emerging and establishing creators like to showcase work without the traditional gatekeepers. And also, please know that the rise of digital tools has blurred the lines between the traditional art forms and new media creations. Paintings, sculpting, and photography coexist with purely digital practices such as, for example, 3D modeling, VR, AR also, and even AI-generated art. So artists who choose to focus on these modern approaches, sometimes referred to as internet art or net art, leverage the web's interactive potential, creating online experiences that involve with users' participation or crowd-sourced content. Okay, when it comes to the democratization and collaboration, please note that the internet fosters collaboration. Artists, curators, and patrons can communicate quickly to share feedback, raise funds, what's more, co-produce new projects. Crowdfunding platforms, for example, help finance artworks or entire exhibitions. Additionally, artists can find, study, and remix countless resources, references, and inspirations from across the globe. So this ease of collaboration often accelerates creative processes and can lead to wholly new forms of artistic expression. When it comes to the challenges and responsibilities, as an introduction, while global accessibility is a boon for emerging talent, it also raises challenges. The same digital platforms, for example, YouTube or Instagram, that allow us to share art widely, can expose it to unauthorized use, theft, or misappropriation. And also, this heightened exposure highlights the importance of understanding legal frameworks like copyright. I think that all of you have heard that term, licensing terms, and digital marketplace regulations to ensure that you can proactively protect and benefit from your creative work. Okay, so let's move to the next slide. Types of digital art. Okay, so when it comes to the first expression, which is art on the internet, this phrase usually denotes traditional works, paintings, drawings, sculptures, photographs, which are digitalized and shared online. Artists, museums, and galleries host virtual exhibitions or share high-resolution images of physical pieces for audience worldwide. This might appear in online portfolios, art marketplaces, or social media platforms. So that's art on the internet. And the other term, internet art or net art. Internet art emerged alongside the rise of the web itself. It generally describes artworks conceived and executed specifically for online environments. And this net art or internet art can include interactive websites, VR, AR pieces, and blockchain-based experiments. A hallmark of this genre is viewer participation, meaning that the art may change in response to the audience interaction or data input. Okay, so let's move to the next topic, which is public domains and Creative Commons. Public domain. Works that have lost copyright protection, usually because of a certain number of years passed since the creator's death, are said to be in the public domain. In most jurisdictions, this time frame is between, I think, 70 years. In Poland, for example, where I come from, and even to 100 years. So once a piece is public domain, anyone can use or adapt it without permission. And please remember that artists sometimes reference these public domain works in their own creations. For instance, you can incorporate a centuries old painting into a digital collage without worrying about the copyright infringement. Okay, and when we say when we speak about Creative Commons licenses, please note that artists may opt to share their work under Creative Commons to establish clear open usage guidelines while still retaining certain rights. And very often, the CC licenses vary. So some permit only non-commercial use, some allow free adaptation or require that derivative work carry the same license. And by utilizing CC licenses, artists can reach broad audiences interested in collaboration, remix culture, or education, fostering a more communal sense of creativity. Additional perspective of our today's topic is that some seminars, webinars include repeated or extended content in slides to reinforce the main theme. Here we might elaborate on how the internet shaped modern art consumption. The first point is online exhibitions and virtual museums. And many renowned galleries now host virtual tours or exhibitions, letting visitors explore from any device anywhere. Social media influence. So platforms like Instagram or maybe today more trendy one, TikTok, transform how artists engage potential fans, collectors, collaborators. Short videos or behind the scenes snapshots can go viral, elevating an unknown artist overnight. Educational opportunities. So institutions and independent creators share tutorials, lectures, and workshops online, enabling self-taught artists to master advanced skills without formally enrolling in art schools. So this additional commentary emphasized the internet's evolving impact on creative processes, distribution methods, and global outreach. Okay, so quite interesting topic for me, also due to the legal connections, which are very intense between this subject and legal system is blockchain and NFTs. So let's talk about it a little bit. So an especially significant digital innovation is the introduction of NFTs on blockchain networks. NFTs is probably non-fungible tokens. These are assign unique digital ownership to items like images, animations, music, or even tweets. They are stored on decentralized blockchains, which provide transparency and immutability. Financial and creative benefits. So NFTs allow artists to earn a revenue, not just on initial sales, but also on repeated resales. So thanks to the smart contracts that pay routine royalties back to the creator whenever an NFT changes hands. So beyond profit, NFTs can authenticate digital art as original, preserving provenance in a digital environment that's otherwise prone to duplication. Marketplaces. There are some popular NFTs trading platforms like OpenSea or SuperRare, and each have distinct rules and fees. Artists must read terms carefully. that's what I always say, to ensure compliance and understand how royalties and resales are handled. Considerations and criticism. So the energy consumption, which is tied to certain blockchain processes, can be significant. Conscious artists might prefer blockchains using proof of stake mechanism rather than proof of work. Additionally, unscrupulous individuals might mint NFTs of an artist's work without permission, highlighted the need to monitor the NFT space for any infringements. Okay, and potential dangers of the internet. So while the internet can serve a powerful catalyst for an artistic growth, it also brings very severe risks. So let's talk about unauthorized reproduction and plagiarism. So high resolution images can easily replace digital files, make it simpler than ever for someone to copy or reshare your work illegally. Plagiarism might involve only slight alterations, leading to derivative work that still violate your copy work. Misuse on social media or marketplaces. So some platforms turn a blind eye to questionable reports or profit from users' content without properly crediting or compensating creators. And because of these practices, artists must constantly police where and how their artwork appears. Cyber threats, such as phishing, hacking, or platform security breaches, pose real dangers. So artists selling high value digital pieces can become targets, of course. Please remember about strong passwords, two-factor authentication, and other cybersecurity best practices, which can help you defend against these hazards. Okay, legal ambiguities. So law around digital ownership, privacy also, and intellectual property differ among jurisdictions. So the relative novelty of blockchain-based art compounds these gray areas. So working with a legal professional experience in art, in technology also, is often wise, especially when large sums or valuable works are at stake. Okay, and now let's move to the best practices, strategies to protect your art online. So we're talking now about a proactive approach to digital protection, which can mitigate many problems. So the first best practice is watermarking and metadata. Adding a subtle watermark on high quality images deters casual theft. So you can also use metadata, like some copyright notices or author info in image or PDF files, so that just to protect and so that your ownership remains traceable. So anyone um, can know that you're the owner of this artwork. The next best practice is time stamping and proof of authorship. So services providing digital timestamps, including some blockchain platforms, can help prove you created a work at a certain time. And even emailing a copy of your file to yourself or keeping interactive development records so can bolster your authorship claims in legal disputes. Monitoring and reporting. So conduct regular reverse image searches via tools like what's called Google Images, TinEye, to find unauthorized copies. And if you discover infringements, file DMCA takedown notices or request removal on major social networks. Contracts and licenses. So please ensure any contract with galleries, online platforms, or collaborators clearly delineates who owns the copyright, how the work can be used, and what fees or royalties are due. That's the main. I want you to know that that's the main topic for today. So if you have any doubts, any questions, you don't understand your legal contract, you should really contact with the lawyer, because misunderstanding this legal contracts can lead to many legal problems in the future. If you choose open licenses, please confirm that you are comfortable with the allowances and restrictions they entail. Enforcement. Cease and desist letters. So if you suspect someone has used your artwork without permission, these cease and desist letters, which are formal letters, and they can be enough to halt infringement, particularly if the violator is unaware or ignoring legal boundaries. Include clear evidence of your rights, details about the violation, and deadline for stopping the activity. So you write such letter and you put deadline for stopping the activity. The next one is platform-specific takedown processes. So many websites, especially those based in the United States, but even in the European Union, provide some DMCA takedown request form, and submitting it promptly often leads to a swift removal of infringing content. And also NFT platforms typically have their own procedures for reporting stolen art mint as NFTs. Negotiation and settlements. So sometimes the infringer may be open to licensing your work properly, turning a conflict into a new revenue stream, and consult legal counsel to negotiate fair terms. Lawyers can help you during the negotiation process. And formal legal action. Please remember that if informal measures fail, legal litigation may be often the only resolution. So you could pursue compensation for damages and request an injunction to stop further misuse. And of course, laws may vary, not may, but laws vary by country. So always consider the jurisdiction where the infringement occurred. Okay. And some conclusion and final advice to you, just to summarize. So the internet has dramatically reshaped how art is displayed, experienced, and transacted also. Artists today can leverage unprecedented exposure and creative tools. Yet the digital freedom comes with obligation to safeguard one's work. Also, understanding concepts like public domain, the CC licensing, and NFT mechanism is essential for anyone aiming to live in this sphere. And also by combining practical protective measures like watermarking, licensing, and contracts with vigilant enforcement, the cease and desist notices, takedowns, legal reminders, etc., you can confidently create and show digital art. So thank you all for your time and attention. I hope the seminar has provided a clear picture of the art on the internet and how you can navigate its many possibilities and also pitfalls. So I'd be happy to answer any questions you have now or maybe later. Um, okay, so that's me, my colleague from the JW. So please feel free to write down my email. You can contact me, of course, if you have any doubts. If you have any questions, we can answer.
Mhm. If I may ask, so in terms of having some good contract, let's say with potential partner, potential gallery, what are some key points which artists should be really careful about?
Mhm. Okay, it depends. Yeah, it varies on specific situation, but the most for artists the most important points of such contracts are this how the copyrights are written in that contract. Yeah, so this copyright issues, transfer of the copyright licensing, it's crucial to your work.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And for example, in terms of maybe um, protection of the artwork, I mean the physical one, if there is a physical one, what do you think would be like a good way how to protect the artwork? Because I believe that we have quite a lot of painters here, and sometimes, it happens that there is like a lot of transportation, or there are like a lot of different galleries handling the artwork, or during the art fairs. Is there something what they should include in the contract, or just like be really careful about?
Yeah. Uh, mm, in such situations, especially as you said for painters, it's very important to put some contractual penalty to the contract. Just if something is damaged by gallery or during transport, who is responsible for transport? So very common institution is such a contractual penalty.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the input. We have one question here from Ledet in the chat. So
Okay.
she's asking, she says, thank you, it was very informative. And she's asking, would it be possible for me as an artist to create my own contract sample that I offer for projects, especially for smaller commendations or commissions? Sometimes they say they will give me one, but it never arrives, or it arrives months after my project is complete. And I would like to create my own agreement to avoid any potential problems.
Yeah, of course, it's possible. I think as today's topic, internet. So we can among the internet resources there are many good samples of it. So especially when it comes to the smaller commissions, you can use good samples, which are really sometimes you can find such in the internet. So feel free to search for ones. And of course, it's very important to sign such agreement before your project is completed. So it of course it's a good practice.
Yeah, I think that sometimes it's like just more convenient as well for artists. Artists feel safe, and if there is a contract in advance, what artists can just directly send, it's definitely a big benefit, especially for the artist. Ladet, I just would love to say that Philip is going to have a few consultancy sessions available, so I would definitely suggest you to keep an eye on it. We're going to share more details next week. And if there are no other questions, I just would love to say thank you so much, Philip, for joining us today. I think that I saw as well Paulina here, so thank you so much as well to Paulina for joining us. It was very informative session, and I can't wait to share other details with all the participants tomorrow morning. So I would love to wish everyone a great evening.
Great. Thank you for the invitation. Have a good evening.
Gladly. Bye bye.
Bye.